A growing smaller crowd. This is controlled. The scene spans several blocks. We are here at Portland Avenue and East 35th, but it goes at least 2 or 3 blocks.
Who are you? Who do you work
thank
for?
you.
Who do
Hold
you
on.
work
I'm
for?
sorry. We're with CNN. It's okay.
Okay.
Thank you for your help. I'm sorry. I think people are getting upset. So that is the latest here on the ground, guys, and I'm going to send it back to you.
Whoa, there is so much to unpack there. I don't know about you guys, but to me, that was the clearest case of, hey, don't worry, we're with you guys, leave us alone, that I have ever seen from a journalist. It's really clear to me, had that been Laura Ingraham from Fox News or any Fox News reporter, that they would have been harassed, a crowd would have gone around them, maybe blocking their escape, or maybe even threatening physical violence. But because this woman said she was with CNN, oh, the protester just turned away. It really shows you that even though on the right side of the aisle, we like to believe that the mainstream media has lost its relevance, and don't get me wrong, they've definitely lost a lot of their power. Their ratings are definitely a lot lower than they used to be. The mainstream media does still, unfortunately, have a lot of influence. So 3 things stood out to me on top of that. So first of all, at the very beginning of the clip, she says, the crowd has really thinned out. That's really interesting. I'm going to play this clip again and pay attention to the timestamp at the top of the video. It's really not that late in the day. In fact, it's barely afternoon. And then she obviously has the encounter with the protester, and she says, don't worry, it's okay. Thank you for helping us. What do you mean, thank you for helping us? Are you trying to cause uprisings in the streets? How exactly did that protester help you? Let's just watch again and see if you pick up on these things as well.
A growing smaller crowd. This is controlled. The scene spans several blocks. We are here at Portland Avenue and East 35th, but it goes at least 2 or 3 blocks.
Who are you? Who do you work
thank
for?
you.
Who do
Hold
you
on.
work
I'm
for?
sorry. We're with CNN. It's okay.
Okay.
Thank you for your help. I'm sorry. I think people are getting upset. So that is the latest here on the ground, guys, and I'm going to send it back to you.
Who do you work for? We're with CNN. It's okay. Almost as if she's soothing this protester. It just really shows you what side of the aisle that they're on. Well, you'll notice that in the upper left-hand corner, it said it was 12:04 Central Time, 1:04 Eastern. So again, barely after lunch. And she said the crowd was already fizzling out, which says a lot because take a look at how huge these crowds were. So obviously massive crowds here. Now this is appearing to be on the edge of a residential neighborhood. You'll notice houses both on the left side as well as on the right-hand corner. And then here is an aerial view showing them against the houses. And that house right there at the corner, that does look like the same house that the CNN correspondent was close to, or at least, the architecture here suggests it's really close by to where this massive crowd was. So for it to be 12:04 their time and the crowd is already thinning out really just speaks to, the lack of momentum, the lack of enthusiasm here. I know there have been a lot of rumors that maybe they were paid. Now, I don't believe that they were all paid, but I do believe some protests are astroturfed, and sometimes paid protesters can be used to gin up that support, right? It doesn't always start organically. Sometimes there are outside sources that light the spark, and they hope that it catches on like wildfire. Now, like I said, had that been from any other news station, it's likely that the situation would have been a lot different. And just a few days ago, we saw the same situation happen with a NewsNation reporter, and things weren't as friendly. Keep in mind, NewsNation, I like to think that they're pretty down the middle. They're not leftist like CNN, but they're not like Fox News. I think NewsNation tends to be fairly objective with their reporting and truly show both sides, and yet the protesters were harassing this female reporter.
You are just justifying.
No, I wasn't. I was talking about a video I've seen several angles of, and there are 2 different conflicting stories. So
You're a pretty girl that talks to the camera.
Exactly.
Shut your mouth about anything else.
You have no right to be here, really. Spreading propaganda is all you're doing.
You don't get to.
God, if I was your mother, I'd be so ashamed. Good idea. Good idea.
Have a great day. Bless you, and may Jesus warm your soul.
Or forgive you. Holy sh**.
You have no right to be here. Really ironic coming from these protesters who accuse President Trump and the Republican Party of being fascist and of being authoritarians. The right to be here, freedom of the press, it is literally in the Constitution. Of course she has a right to be there. For whatever reason, though, I have a feeling that had that been the CNN reporter, they would have been like, oh, okay, it's fine, leave her alone. And it didn't happen in NewsNation or just NewsNation. It also happened to a reporter from Real America's Voice. And woo, things were a lot more tense here.
This is what we're dealing with on the ground. All over. That's right. Actually, I'm very respectful. And you're not respectful at all in any way. I just want to ask, do you believe in illegal immigration? Do you think U.S. taxpayers should be funding housing for illegals and medical care?
Smart man. He is so intelligent. This man, he's got nothing to say. He's got nothing to say.
I got a lot to say.
He's a big man.
Now,
he's a big man.
now I'm a Nazi.
What a big man.
Oh.
What a big man. Bye,
Crazy.
bye, big man.
I'm very respectful.
Bye, big man.
I'm very respectful.
Goodbye.
Here. This is the mentality. This is the state of the United States right now. This is what's going on here in this country.
And what a sad state for the United States. You would think that most of these people would at least try to have a civil conversation, try to exchange ideas, exchange points of view, but instead all they're doing is not only are they harassing him, but they're also personally insulting him. It's just really sad. And talk about patience. I thought he was really gracious, really kind. And by the way, he was trying to ignore them. He was trying to get away from them. That's clearly why he was walking, and kudos on the cameraman for walking backwards so that that reporter had someplace to go. It was the protesters who were following him. They could have left him alone. They could have stayed with the crowd, went back to, whatever protesting they were doing, but instead they chose to go out of their way to make his day even worse. So in reality, shame on them. Now, in case you need a bit of a palate cleanser from those leftist extremists, here is a great case of FAFO that you might enjoy. So yes, there were massive protests today. This happened to be in Los Angeles, and you'll see they're attempting to storm the ICE facility, but something spooked them, and all of a sudden, all these protesters are running away. They are scattering like cockroaches away from this ICE facility. There wasn't clear reporting on what happened. Some basically different accounts online, but the consensus that appears to be forming was there was some loud noise and that sent everyone scattering away. And one more feel-good palate cleanser to end this video. I just want to leave on a high note because I know the last few days have been tough for everyone, obviously very divided. It is a Minnesota state representative getting owned, just absolutely humiliated and destroyed by a U.S. border commander. But before we get to that clip, I would like to thank the members of today's Governor's Club. They are Kathleen Ide and Moon Fairy. Thank you so much. These are people who give tips and super thanks to the channel. I'm so glad that you enjoy, and I appreciate your support. Well, this is Minnesota State Representative Sandra Feist, and keep in mind, she could have, again, she could actually be doing state business. She could be helping the kids that she's supposedly helping. She could be going about her day in so many different ways, but instead she chose to harass, similar to those protesters, she chose to harass a U.S. border commander, and she attempted to own him, she attempted to debate him, but instead she got called out, she got educated, and when she had no response, she just ran away. This was posted by I'm Fired Up 2 on X.
Kids have a right to have this experience.
Yeah, for you cursing like that as a state representative, did your parents teach you that? Or where did you learn such foul language? Such a simple question. I'm asking you guys. Simple question there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where did you learn
Learn how to.
human beings?
It's very interesting when we make our community safer. Your residents thank us, but you don't know that as a representative, do you?
Could you explain to me
I can.
why
It's called
you
tailored
are
immigration
not,
enforcement.
why are you not arresting criminals? Why are so few of the people that you have arrested and detained and deported people with criminal records?
They're all criminals. They've all crossed the border illegally.
Crossing the border illegally is a civil offense.
No, 18 U.S.C. 1325 illegal entry. That's a federal crime. Yes.
It's still considered civil immigration enforcement.
Now, I don't know what she's doing here. I don't know if she's texting or Googling, trying to argue with him. On her eyeglass reflection, it almost looks like iMessage blue bubbles, but she was tapping in the middle of her screen, too.
Deporting illegal aliens and criminals, making America a safer place. The double-digit drops in crime. Have you looked at your statistics nationwide? Or you don't care about
Over the last, like...
Since we've been conducting kinds of, yes. Double-digit drops in crime.
Correlation is not causation.
When we're there, that does cause that. Then what causes it then?
Well, I don't know. I saw a crime
you don't know
recently, and the
exactly.
crime was ICE shooting a woman who was a bystander.
Don't drive a 2,000-pound missile at an ICE agent. You won't have an outcome that you don't agree with, Representative.
Yeah, well, I thought that law enforcement was supposed to be trained in de-escalation.
And that is, they did.
Shooting someone in the face because it's not de-escalation.
Speaking of de-escalation, you'll notice that every time she pulls out her phone, the officer goes silent, and it's the state representative, Sandra Feist, who restarts the argument. He's de-escalating by staying quiet, not engaging, and then she agitates.
That's your job.
I work with OAN.
Like the comms people?
No, I work with OAN.
Oh.
We love watching representatives use their First Amendment. I think it's fantastic.
Well, I'm a former member of the ACLU of Minnesota board, and I believe in the First Amendment.
Good.
What about the Second Amendment? You believe in that one?
Don't have it. Job.
You don't have just the ones that suit you there, Representative, right? What about that Second Amendment?
Well, I don't know if you heard, but we had a shooting in a school here in Minnesota recently. And
What's that got to do with the Second Amendment?
Well, I think that if we had some common sense gun violence prevention
Who gets
laws.
to say it's common sense? You?
Well, yes, I'm a legislator.
Exactly, and I think that's definitely the problem there.
Is it? Well,
Yes.
I think the problem is that
when
children are dying.
When you use that violent rhetoric around children, yeah, I'd say that you probably are not exercising a lot of common sense here, Representative.
I'm here as volunteer for the Minnesota Youth in Government. And the point of Minnesota Youth in Government is to encourage children to participate in our civic institutions, to learn about them, to learn how to exercise their constitutional rights.
I do that. I do the same thing. I haven't interfered in anything, but I do the same thing. I take children to shooting ranges, and I teach them to shoot, to exercise their Second Amendment rights that it seems like you want to take away.
I don't have strong opinions about the Second Amendment. I just care about
just the ones you want,
well.
right? And just those rights you think you need to care about.
Well,
but not the second. That's always the litmus test for you folks. Always the litmus test.
I just want people to be able to live in peace.
Me too. That Second Amendment does that.
Really? Well, all I've seen here in Minnesota is people dying, including children.
What about the lives that are saved by guns? You don't talk about that, do you?
Does anybody die from fentanyl? I'm just wondering because the end all is get rid of guns, people don't die. Is fentanyl still killing people in Minnesota? Just wondering. Because it's illegal. Because it's illegal. The government, we don't hand out fentanyl. Is fentanyl killing people in Minnesota? See, this is where you need to count to 10. Too easy.
Yeah, you guys ready?
I really don't want you to leave, but yes.
It's time to go. All right.
So she argues, she loses, and when she can't hold her ground, she says, "This is dumb." She rolls her eyes. Also, I don't know, like, obviously she's from Minnesota to be a Minnesota state representative, but I almost saw, like, a blonde California Valley girl, like, oh, I don't know what I'm talking about, and oh, I'm just gonna get emotional and use emotional language, and I just, don't really like that. And she didn't really have any substance to what she was saying. Couldn't really argue against the facts here, couldn't pull up counter statistics or anything like that. And so if that is the best that Minnesota has to offer, no wonder the state is in a state of decline. As always, though, all of that is just my analysis and commentary. That's what's happening in the world of politics from my point of view, and I would love to hear from you. So, potentially controversial question, but there have been a lot of claims that these are paid protesters whenever there are massive protests on the left. That is one of the rumors that spreads online the fastest. So where do you fall on that? Do you believe that they're all paid protesters? Do you believe that a portion are paid? Let me know down in the comments below. Like I said earlier in the video, I do believe it is true to an extent. I don't believe that every single person there is paid. And hey, if you believe that, hey, more power to you. you have the First Amendment right, and I know it's the right to free speech, but really the right to free speech is the right, if you think about it, to free thought. So we are free to think whatever we want. To me, again, my perspective is that I tend to think that a small portion are paid, and whoever is funding these is attempting to use that group as the initial spark and hoping that it grows organically rather, well, that doesn't make sense. How can it grow organically if you're astroturfing it? But you know what I'm saying, compared to what usually happens on the right side of the aisle, like with the Tea Party, where it's truly a grassroots movement that grows from the local organizations, local people, and turns into a national movement. I don't know if that makes any sense, but let me know your thoughts on that down in the comments below. If you haven't already, please be sure to leave me a thumbs up. I know it's a simple thing to ask for, but it really does help me reach more viewers like you in the algorithm. Be sure to smash that subscribe button and to check out one of these videos.